about turning our values to where they need to be. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
E te mana whakawa.
I call Nuk Krako.
A tēnā koe e te mana whakawa, huri no te whare nei e mihi atu kia koutou katoa. A tēnei te mihi o te whanauka o te moana nui a Kiwa, e te whānau o Tonga, Malulele. Mr. Speaker, it's really hard trying to understand where this Labour-led coalition is going with their Māori strategy, taking into account that the Māori voters returned to Labour in droves at the last election. So now, if we look at it out in Flaxrootsville, what we actually see there that they are bitterly disappointed in what has been served up to date. Mr. Speaker, even when we look at respected leaders in Māoridom, like Sir Toby Curtis, Dame Iritana Tāwhiwhirangi, Dame Tariana Turia, they are all becoming very, very despondent with this Labour-led coalition. And that was more actually about, when we look at the history, that they have more Māori in cabinet on that side of the House ever in the history of this particular parliament. I think one thing that really scares them is when they hear things like, we have to legislate for the majority of people. We don't live in our world around a measly, targeted budget. So when we look at that e te mana whakawa, what that actually refers to is that it was that government that actually slashed the Māori budgets, and that is why it was such a measly Māori budget itself. And why did Labour actually slash that particular budget? And one of the things that's really important here is that it was very much around this policy of assimilation, because what they've done is that they've taken a lot of the targeted Māori funding and put it into the general budget. And they've changed the narrative also. The narrative when we were in government was what's good for Māori is good for New Zealand. Here they've turned it completely around, and they've got now what's good for New Zealand is good for Māori. Mr. Speaker, the reason why this particular coalition government, Labour particularly, do not want to see successful Māoris, because they want to make them dependent on the state. They want to make them dependent on the state. So why would Labour want to reduce their voters by working for Māori success? Why would they want to do that? Well, they don't want to do that because successful Māori means less Labour voters. That's how it is. And I'm sure that when we look at this targeted funding, it's both reduced and assimilated. And that's part of the grand plan to keep Māori dependent on the welfare state. And so, listen to them. I mean, now bring up Don Brash, absolutely. But look at you. Have a good look at yourself. Because basically what they've done, National was always the party of Tino Rangatiratanga. And the situation there, sir, is that what is Tino Rangatiratanga? It's an expression of enterprise. It's an expression of self-responsibility and hard work. And to do that, to get out of that and to have Tino Rangatiratanga, these people across the other side, these parties of the coalition don't want to see that. Where on this side, we want to see independence from welfare and state handouts. We want to see independence from broken families, lack of housing, independence so that they can utilise their own land. And what have they done? They've taken away, they've thrown away the Te Ture Whenua Māori Land Act reform. They called it the dirty, rotten, filthy Te Ture Whenua Act. And in saying that, it just sums up the disdain for Māori financial and economic independence in saying that. Because in its own words, they believe if you're actually economically independent as Māori, well, that's dirty, rotten and filthy, just like they actually said around the Te Ture Whenua Māori Land Act. Mr. Speaker, at the end of the day, this particular Tino Rangatiratanga, that's what we built on. when you look at whānau ora, when you look at those education numbers, sir, that we put more money into Te Reo Māori. Kia ora.
I call Kieran McAnulty.
Malo e lau male e iki